The DMV Hoops Podcast.
This is John the Scrivener, head girls basketball coach at St. John's College High School, and this is the DMV Hoops Podcast.
Welcome to the DMV Hoops Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Kurt Cross, and we are back after a crazy summer with Capital Hoops and DMV Live. We are now back in the studio. I have some guests with me. We're going to talk hoops, of course, because the season is knocking right on the door. We're knocking on the door of the season. I heard there have been some friendlies already. There have been some scrimmages. There have been some open practices. And we're going to open the season in just a few weeks. If you're listening to us, welcome. If you're listening to us for the first time, if you're a long-time or loyal listener, welcome back. After a couple months off, after the Capital Hoops Summer League at DeMatha, I'm still Kurt Cross. We are back. In the studio right now, we have two gentlemen. One knows basketball like the back of his hand. The other one knows basketball like the back of his hand. So we have two gentlemen that I'm happy to have with me on the podcast today. Please welcome Mr. Blair Mills and Mr. Mark Stern. Blair, this was supposed to be just you and me in the studio today, but someone crashed the party. Would you say so?
Yeah, Suge Knight style.
He just came in.
You got to get in where you fit in, baby.
You got to get in where you fit in. We're going to talk DMV hoops in general, but we're really here to talk about something, Blair, that's important to you, that's important to the community at Our Lady of Good Counsel. And I won't intro it. I want you to talk to the people about why you're here and the important work that's going to happen the first weekend in December.
Yeah, so this will be the 7th annual Xaverian Classic at Good Counsel. It's actually the 8th year.
Right.
But we lost a year due to COVID, but it's my 4th year being the director, and we're super excited about this year and the event's growth and its place in the early season area, or in the early season for the DMV area. We have so many talented kids and coaches, schools. We're excited about the path we're taking.
You said you lost a year to COVID. COVID went undefeated, didn't it?
Yeah. COVID did go undefeated. So many feel bad for those kids that were junior, senior year, and they lost that season. But most of them, were able to figure it out and figure out how to get to that next level if that was their goal, or
hopefully they landed where they needed to land, right?
Right, exactly.
They got that extra year in college, so that was a nice byproduct of COVID, right?
Right. Mark, thank you again, because you invited us to come out to the Capital Hoops Summer League at DeMatha. You invited us to DMV Live, where I don't even know if Mark knows that story, but I walk into DMV Live, the girls edition.
Oh yeah, and he tried to tell you admission ain't free. Beat it.
I never met Blair before, right? So I'm walking in like I almost own the place, because you told me where to go, you told me what to do,
right?
And Blair's like, "Can I help you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here to broadcast, blah blah blah." And he's like, "Well, have you talked to Rob? Have you talked to Mark?" I'm like, "Yeah, I talked to Mark like this morning." And he's like, "Mark, you failed to tell Blair that I was coming through, Mark." So
I told him he wasn't listening.
I'm going to believe Blair, because Blair was on time tonight.
Yeah.
So I'm going to believe Blair. But we got past that, and Blair, I'm so glad that I made it into the circle of people that you know. We worked together on DMV Hoops Live this summer at DeMatha and at Bullis, so thank you for that. And now we're here, and we're talking Xaverian Classic. So tell me a little bit about the history and why Xaverian Classic is here. Tell me the importance of it and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so the event started as the dream, if you will, the vision of Coach G.J. Kissel at Good Counsel. Yeah, so G.J. was one of my college assistant coaches, along with our current AD, Steve House. Mm-hmm. And it was G.J.'s idea, and with a few classmates, they basically decided to come up with this event where hopefully they could draw other Xaverian Brothers sponsored schools from our network to come to the DMV and play at Good Counsel.
Right.
So, most of the Catholic schools, all the Catholic schools in our league, they belong to one of the orders of the church, right? And so the Xaverians have a network of about 13 schools. And
that's in the area or nationwide?
Nationwide, right?
Okay.
So like St. X in Kentucky, in Louisville, and there's a few others that are pretty popular. Mount St. Joe is the one that most people would know in the area, and then St. Mary's Riken is also a sister school of Good Counsels, right? Okay. So basically, their idea was, okay, let's try to draw a couple Xaverian schools to the area, and they did. They got Xaverian from Brooklyn one year, and actually they're going to Xaverian this year, the week after the Xaverian Classic at Good Counsel. Good Counsel's team is going up to Xaverian in Brooklyn. But they also had like a component where they had a grade school tournament in the mix in conjunction with the high school event.
You got to stop saying they. It's we now. You're a part of this.
Well, it was they because that was their vision, right?
Right. Okay.
And Mike Diokino, awesome guy, one of GJ's classmates at Good Counsel. He was really, really, really at the front of it. And he, his kids were starting to graduate from high school, and they were on their way to move to North Carolina. And GJ basically came to me and said, I need you to run this event for me. I trust you. I know you know what you're doing. And I was about to leave for Vegas as an early 40th birthday gift to myself. The Commanders were playing the Raiders.
I was at that game.
Were you really?
Stay in Vegas, Mark.
Yep.
Were you really?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, so I actually went out there with my younger cousin, Jarrell, who actually helps us with DMV Live a lot, and Neil Berkman, who was the head coach at Ireton for a minute. Neil and I are good friends. We both worked at different times under Mike Hibbs, Neil at Bullis and me at Good Counsel. So we became good friends, and we all three went out there. Neil didn't stay for the game, but it was a fun weekend. And ahead of that, I told GJ, like, man, I'm going to Vegas. I don't think I can put the effort I need to put into to get ready for hosting an event in 2 weeks. And he goes, you'll be better than me with your eyes closed right now, because he's just, he's at the beginning of the season. It's just chaos for the coach. And so we did it, and it went off pretty smoothly. And then every year we've just kind of started to build and hone and work on some things. But ultimately, it's gotten where it has because the Good Counsel community has embraced it, and we've gotten great volunteers, past parents. Shout out to, they might not hear this, but I told them I was coming on the podcast.
Wait a minute, you saying we don't have the reach where those folks are going to hear it?
Well, they might hear us because our base is right around the corner. So we meet at the Knights of Columbus Rosensteel with Bob Wigmore, Mike Lozapone, Chuck Cusbit, Fran Moran, and Ryan Moran. Those are my guys that I stick close to help guide us with our work as far as organizing volunteers and just being in the gym all weekend.
You mentioned 13 schools, but this we can talk about the beginning, but this is really opened up. I mean, we're talking, the Good Counsel girls are going to be in, but you got Benedictine, you got Malvern Prep, talk about the field, because this is a little bit different than where it started, and you've got teams coming from all over the country.
Yeah, so it started as, your standard 3-day, 8-team, 3-game guarantee, right? We'll have a champion, and we'll have all the way down to 8th place. And what you end up realizing when you run events like this, particularly during the regular season, is there's game limits for most of the credible institutions, right? And leagues.
We're not taking a shot, are we?
No, never taking a shot. But, ultimately, it's the truth, right? And so most of those leagues have game limits. And in order for us to attract who we want, nice. Mark just showed me a picture of him at the game in Vegas. I'll show you the one of Jarrell and I in a bit. But anyway, in order for us to attract the kind of schools we want for a quality event, we realized, well, maybe we need to alter our approach a little bit. And so what we started doing is, I thought back to my childhood growing up on the Eastern Shore. We would always go to Slam Dunk to the Beach at Cape Henlopen High School in Rehoboth. And that model would have, 1 or 2 mini brackets over the week, or 5-6 days, whatever they had and then they would have a couple just showcase matchups, right, that would be sponsored by local businesses. And, you know, being in a community like a Counsel, just figured, well, what can we do to kind of emulate that, model that, but really tie it into the Good Counsel community. So we've had games or the bracket named after some pillars of our community over the years. Like last year, we had a game named in honor of former AD Bob Winland, who passed away a few years ago. This year, the bracket is going to be named after Omari Isreal, class of 03, who was a giant in the Good Counsel space. And we'll go into some more details about that. And the whole weekend we got set up around his memory and celebrating him. But that's what we did, right? And so it allowed us to get some of those schools that maybe they would say, well, we want to come, but we can't sink 3 games.
Right.
So you can play 1 or 2, right? Good Counsel is usually the only school who would play 3 games. But it's great. So we've been able to get strong connection with some of the Philly schools over the last couple of years. And then we have 1 or 2 schools coming from a little further typically. So yeah, the field's great, man. Like it's really, really good.
Well, I know you got some teams. You said the programs that adhere to some of the rules. You got some teams out there playing 50, 60 games. They'd gladly take on more than 2 or 3 games, but you don't feel like that strengthens the field.
No. I mean, part of success with this stuff is knowing where you are and what's going to be successful where you are.
Okay.
And so I would love for somebody who just gets an email from Good Counsel, maybe they're a past parent or a grandparent, to look up and see Father Judge from Philly or Malvern Prep from Philly or Holy Cross from New York or Benedictine and say, oh, you know, Aunt Sally's cousin Ron, twice removed on his dad's side.
Not twice removed.
Yeah, twice removed.
Okay.
Went to Father Judge, you know, and he's in town. I'm going to call him. Maybe he'll want to come to the game with us or something like that. This is no lie. I was at the beach this summer, and I went to the gym, and there was a guy there with a FJ shirt, right, standing for Father Judge, and started talking to him. And he goes, "Oh yeah, my kid goes to Ireton. I went to Father Judge."
Okay.
And we didn't have a commitment from Ireton at that point, right? But basically, both of those programs are
I'm looking at it
in the event, right?
Right.
So it's just those kind of connections that you would hope would bring people to the gym, because ultimately the whole goal of this is to celebrate the basketball community, particularly at Good Counsel, and to show support for the program.
In this basketball community, as big as it is, you and I talked prior to recording, as big as it is, it's small. A lot of us, I mean, you and I through conversation found out the folks that we know.
Yeah.
You know, and Mark is definitely not on the outside looking in. Mark has his hands in, you know, and knowing a lot of folks in this basketball community, so much so that a conversation Mark and I had a week ago, he added some things to my calendar that I didn't know I'd be adding to my calendar. So Mark, you obviously are in the DMV Live space as well, along with Blair. Talk about how that DMV Live exposure and both of you, your hands in those different basketball sectors have helped to build Xaverian.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I've been in the event space for like a decade now.
If you keep looking at TV, the people can't hear you. You got to talk into the mic. He's trying to watch Monday Night Football, just so y'all know.
With that being said, yeah, I've been in the event space for a decade now, and there's tons of crossover, especially from DMV Live, since DMV Live is a summer event, and all these in-season events are, you know, kind of on a different playing field, I guess you could say. There's just a ton of crossover, especially with the out-of-town teams that are eligible to come play at DMV Live. So Blair and I are both kind of fortunate that we can tap into all these teams that we have come in town to come into these various events that we run throughout the year. But I want to hear more about Blair's involvement with this. I mean, he's done a really good job. I think this year he's made the biggest leap in terms of the exposure for the event, the quality of teams for the event, just like making a splash kind of like within the event space, if you will. And I want to know like what changed, what what happened to make this year go up so much from kind of the trajectory change this year, it seems like.
So, I mean, I'm not trying to use cliches, but it's so true. People might not remember what you said or what you taught them, but they remember how you made them feel, right? So it's just building relationships in all spaces to help you kind of help get the event to mature a little more.
Okay.
And so this is the second year of the model that I said with the 2-day bracket on Saturday, Sunday, and then showcases around that. Again,
you had showcase games last year?
We had showcase games last year. Yeah, we had a few teams last year from out of town. A good event last year, but this is kind of, it's just a little bit better this year overall. I mean, I just think the years of contacting people and letting them know, okay, we have this event. It's during this period. It's an early season challenge for a team. Some schools, their historical trajectory is, okay, an event like the Xaverian may be the event for them for the year, right?
Okay,
like
right.
It might be the top event that they go to. And then for some schools, it's like, okay, we're trending young, right? We're traditionally like a strong power, but we're trending young. We want to get our guys accustomed to going on the road, to staying in hotels. This will be a good event for us to start that trajectory. And then sometimes, again, it's how you made them feel, how you treated them. They're going to come back even when they're really good because the event is well run and they know they know what we tell them, what's in the contract, what we tell them, those things are going to take place, right? And so when we make sure we take care of them, treat them right, expose them to what DMV basketball is and our success rate, they want to come back.
Well, they've been to events where they weren't treated right.
Right.
And they've seen the other side of it.
Correct.
So when you can find an event where the competition is great, you're treated well, there's exposure, there's all of these things, touchdown Detroit Lions, they do want to come back. You're right, Blair. So you know that. You've been in it. DMV Live shows you that. I mean, you guys do some amazing things at DMV Live and the way you treat these teams. And we were able to get a bunch of teams behind the mic, so thank you for that.
So yeah, another piece of it for me is when I go on the road with Takeover, like we talked about this summer, it's about meeting new coaches, maybe taking a look at a prospect and, okay, he goes to this school. Well, I know a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy.
There you go.
But like every step of the way for me, right? Like we really got in tight with some of the Philly schools because of one of my college teammates and a buddy of his in Philly, right? And he got us connected to Chris Rowntree at Father Judge and then to Carl at Newman Goretti and all these different places. And it's just a phone call. And John Moscow, gosh, can't forget Coach Moscow at Archbishop Wood. Like all these guys are kind of connected just like our community.
Right.
And for you to get to know them and just have a couple chats with them 1 to 5, 6, 7 times a year, right? Just to stay connected, it goes a long way. And it's not just, it might not be them. It's like, oh yeah, I know this guy. He was saying he needed a game and he coaches at this school. They're pretty good this year. Maybe you can get him a good matchup. Yeah. Oh, we can't come down this year, but we'll come next. And man,
you're growing this thing all year long.
Oh yeah. And,
right?
and so one of the joys for me, right? Like I joke with my wife, I stopped coaching basketball at Good Counsel in 2013, 2014, but in the last 2 or 3 years, I feel like I'm working just as much between DMV Live, the Xaverian, and Takeover that it's kind of crazy. It's just a nonstop thing where I try to do these, okay, how can I impact all of these different things positively and provide value for each one of them.
Right. And that's not necessarily easy, but I would imagine year by year, the relationships you build, you're able to, the phone calls become a little bit easier. And, you're not doing as much work to get the teams here, but it's just as much work to host and to produce something that your fans who pay at the gate or whatever it takes are seeing something on the floor that you want them to see. And hopefully your vision is, hopefully there's that aha moment for you where, you're seeing it. And Blair, might I remind you to just step back that weekend and just make sure you look at it all and make sure you take it all in and understand that, it takes a lot of work to get here, but this is what success looks like, right?
Yeah, it is. There's no chance that I'm going to be able to take a step back and do nothing. No, it's just.
Mark, can we go up there and make sure he does that?
Well, Mark will be there.
I know he will.
Part of our intelligence is having Capital Hoops do our social stuff for the weekend, and that really helps us get more exposure for the event on different social media platforms over throughout the country.
I mean, because Mark has his social media people on another planet because they put out some stuff and it's crazy. I have something I need to touch on in a minute, but I heard that Mark's going to be there, but the DMV Hoops podcast, there's a spot for us somewhere in the corner of the gym. Is that correct, Blair?
Well,
somewhere, right?
We'll make it work.
Yeah,
Blair. No excuses.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I had a conversation today. Hopefully, by the time this airs, it'll be done.
All right.
And we are hoping to have you out. But we may have to make a decision between you and a barber suite in the hallway at Good Counsel. So we'll see what's up.
Okay,
we're working on that too.
We'll see where
you
we
cut
stand.
hair, don't you, Kurt?
I'll find a way to make one. How about that?
Blair, let me ask you a question. So,
Yeah.
What is the most annoying part of running an event for you? Because obviously I'm in the same space and I deal with a lot. What that you can talk about freely,
right?
Is the most like frustrating element of this whole thing.
Well, it's so funny because in our DMV Live group chat with Ryan, Flood, and Rob Landini and Mark, the other day I was going through and setting up the bands. I ordered them today, but
24-hour wristband?
24-hour wristband, right?
Shout out 24-hour wristband.
But to me, it's just like the constant triple checking the day of the event. Okay, this dude has a green band on, but we're supposed to have purple. He obviously didn't pay and is trying to circumvent the system. And, listeners might be like, man, just let homeboy go. You're making all this money, but it's like I've never gotten paid a dime for the Xaverian, right? I do this because I care about the school and I want the program to be successful. Never taking a dime. Mark yells at me for that all the time. But to me, it's like, if I'm doing all this and I'm not taking a dime, yes, I might be crazy.
Okay.
But at the same time, why are, you're trying to cheat the system, dude? Like, just pay. Right? Just do what we're asking you to do. And so the constant, this band, that band, all those things, that kind of gets on my nerves a little bit. And also the inability of very intelligent people to take the time to read the emails you send them and to meet deadlines for rosters and stuff like that, because you want your product on the floor to match the product of that item that people are going to be taking with them in the program or the online tools. You want those things to be the same quality of the product on the floor. And if you aren't getting me your roster or your team picture or your blurb that you get to choose the dudes who we spotlight,
right,
if you're not getting that to us on time, it hurts the quality overall.
Right. Here's my thing. If anyone's going to listen to me, if I have any power to control anything, this is a great tournament weekend. Pay the admission, go see some great basketball, get you a bucket of popcorn, and sit back and just watch what's in front of you. Because whoever's trying to cheat the system, they're trying to get away, what, $10, $15? Is it really?
Well,
is it really that serious?
It is 20. But
it's 20. But 20 is just 20.
Yeah, but I mean, if we're going to run down the slate in a little bit, but if you look at that, man, I always say that the best ticket in the country is the WCAC tournament on Saturday. It's $10.
That's it.
It's only $10 at AU typically. It's the best ticket in the country. I mean, even the movies now, right? You can't get out of the movies for less than 60 as a couple,
right?
You know, between the
Don't
tickets.
Don't take kids.
Bingo, right? Between the tickets and, you know,
the popcorn, right?
Water, or I mean, the water is more expensive than the soda, right?
Right.
Like a normal size water is like $6, and now you have the movies that also will sell you an adult Mountain Dew, if you will, and that's even pricier, right?
Now, my daughter told me not too long ago, you pay for the seat you get in the theater.
Right.
You can get a better seat for more money.
Yeah, you can upgrade that. So
Come on, man.
yeah, $10 for high level basketball that Saturday in February is great, but you know, we have a slate of 6 games on Saturday in our event, and 5 on Sunday, and the 4 on Friday are really good too. So $20, you know,
that's for the weekend.
Yeah, no, $20
per
a day.
night. Okay.
Yeah, per night.
It's worth it regardless.
Yeah, definitely worth it.
You got the weekend pass or no?
No, we don't do the weekend pass.
I've never done a weekend pass.
I mean, I would love to.
I wouldn't.
But again, it's knowing your
KYP.
it's knowing your personnel, knowing your space. You know, maybe in a year or two at your council we could do that. But I think it's better for us just to do the daily, because unlike DMV Live, or any AAU tournament that I go to, or you know, maybe even if we do a takeover piece and I help chip in there and volunteer, it's all school volunteers for the most part, right? No one is really getting paid, and they help us, they chip in. It's parents, it's alums, it's past basketball parents that come back and just want to be in the gym, right? And we can get them a meal and they get to help and watch, and you know, they know that role. So I think another year or so, maybe we would visit that. But I think the, you know, daily entries.
I want to take you before February. On any given night in the WCAC for $5,
$5, yeah.
I mean, you can see anything. You could see, you know, 8 Division I players on the floor at one time.
Yeah, no doubt.
You see great coaches. Yeah. We don't talk enough about the coaches. But yeah, so it's a great ticket. You know, where else are you going to spend $20 and get 5 games?
Right. Exactly.
Right? You're paying $4 a game to see top talent.
Right.
And we all know the DMV has the talent. Mark, it looks like you were going to ask a question, so please go for it.
I'm curious. You said you were talking about some parents of like former players. You said we're going to get them a meal. I thought that was a good segue into who we got providing the food in the hospitality suite this year.
Man,
Sardi's back in action.
Yeah, dude.
Ooh.
Like, guys, we are so blessed to have Phil Sardellis. I joke with him. He's a busy man right now. They actually are feeding the National Guard every meal downtown. And so it's a lot going on for him. But when I get with him, I joke with him and tell him I think he's running for president because he's so difficult to get with. But man, you're talking about a family that has really embraced our event and a lot of events at Good Counsel. They provide catering for, and their hospitality is so great. So, yep, Sardi's.
Shout out to Sardi's.
Sardi's, right? In Olney, they have we have the Sardi's carryout, and then we have Olney Station, which is their kind of sit down restaurant. There's one in College Park too called Terrapin Station, over there by the Best Buy, right off Route 1, and you know they do a great job of providing food for us. And they're also going to allow us to host on Saturday night a celebration. We call them fifth quarters at Good Counsel, right?
I saw that on the website.
Yeah, fifth quarter celebration in honor of Omari Isreal, where his classmates have been really, really, really instrumental in doing the legwork for organizing and with his family over the last 18 months to, you know, honor him at the event, right? And we're gonna play Georgetown Prep at 5:30 that night, so that'll be perfect. Kind of Montgomery County rivalry there, cross league, but Coach Blue and his staff and program have always loved coming to this Xaverian. We try to make sure we take care of them too, right? Because they're, you know, part of it is it's not just GC, it's the other teams that make frequent appearances, right, in other schools, and we want to make sure we take care of them too.
You touched on Omari. You touched on it, but let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Omari Isreal, what's this all about, and why should people be drawn to this piece of that weekend?
Well, yeah, like I said, we worked for about a year and a half. Omari played at Good Counsel. You
remember what year he was?
He graduated 2003.
Okay.
From Good Counsel, went to Notre Dame, right, and then transferred to Loyola, where he played for Coach Jimmy Patsos. And Coach Patsos was Gary Williams' assistant at Maryland, right, national title team, recruited a lot of those guys in that stretch where most of us who hold Maryland basketball in high esteem that, are in your 40s and 30s, right? You remember those really good Maryland teams that Coach Williams and Patsos, along with the other assistants, put together. But Coach Patsos coached them, and I sent him the mock-up of the flyer for the event, and he goes, "Man, I wouldn't miss this for the world." And Coach Patsos actually is the head of Under Armour basketball now, right? So he's really gotten behind the event. He's helped us with a couple logistics with the St. John's IMG game that's on the schedule. Mm-hmm. So it's been good to have him in the mix and talk to him. As much grief as he gives me, it's always nice to see him calling me or texting me to, make sure we're good to get the event off the ground and running.
Excellent. So I didn't hear a promise yet, but you're working on making sure that our podcast will be there. Is that correct?
I'm working on it.
Blair's got to get a haircut that day, so that might impede. But
well, at least
Mark's giving me a hard time because he knows I wake up at 5:30 to go get a haircut on most Saturdays. So he's giving me a hard time. But that's why you bring the barbers to you, so we can make that happen. Actually, that piece again, I don't want to misspeak because it's probably not going to happen this year, but I definitely want to make it happen. We have a couple barbers. One of them is my cousin, actually, Dorian Purnell, and Vince Fila. Vince is a 03 alum of Good Counsel as well. Okay. So with Omari.
Yes.
And he's a barber in Olney, and, I'm trying to get those guys together, kind of stolen from the EYBL, where they're there a whole week, right? So a week or two, and kids are going to want to get their haircut, coaches and things like that. But it would be cool if we could make it work. I think those two guys they're so selfless that they would be fine, doing something for us. But that should be a cool piece that we're working on in the future.
Well, let's segue right into sponsorships.
Yep.
What are we looking for that week in Xaverian in terms of sponsorships and all that? What does that look like if someone wants to get involved?
And is that your wheelhouse? Like, what part of the event is kind of like you, and are there other people that have other elements of it, like on their plate?
I got my hand in everything pretty much. Sponsorships, man, are all relationships for us.
Okay.
It's connected to the community or the basketball program historically. So I would say about 60 to 80% would be individuals that I know. Some of them would be people that GJ knows. Right.
Who doesn't GJ know?
I know. And so those two, between those two networks, that there's a wide middle circle of that Venn diagram. We know a lot of the same people, but our ability to just connect with them and expose them to the various events of the weekend and the games and the teams and the programs and, the quality of schools that will be involved. People want to get involved. So, like I said, we've had families who would want to maybe name a game after their deceased loved one,
right,
or to celebrate their business success, and maybe they're connected to the school. We are finalizing a deal with Yeti for the last game of the event. We're going to call it the Yeti Cup.
Okay.
Right.
I didn't get a chance to jump in that one.
Yeah.
I did some sponsorship this summer with Capitol Hoops. I didn't even get a chance. Maybe next year I can be on your list.
Yeah. No. We got space. We'll talk in a bit while we're enjoying some of the Monday Night Football game. But so Yeti Cup, we have an alum
Okay.
Who Jeff Austin 05, who works for Yeti, and he's in the high school space.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and they wanted to get behind us a bit, which is good. So the Yeti Cup will get the winning team will get like these customized Xaverian Yeti Cups.
Oh, right.
Right. And yeah, we'll do that. And yeah, we have a few alums or parents, past parents of the school who use it as a sponsorship opportunity for their businesses, or again, like I said, to celebrate family members. Like, GJ has a game that he names after his parents, who were really influential in obviously his upbringing and his family's love of GC, right? So he does one for them, and that's pretty much what it is, a mix of all those things. So between us two, there's a lot, and then every once in a while there'll be like a large corporate sponsor who wants to get behind it,
right?
And goes from there.
Let's recap this. December 5th, 6th, and 7th. You want to be in Olney, Maryland. You want to be at the Xaverian Classic, Good Counsel High School, Our Lady of Good Counsel High School. Get your pocket straight, because you're going to pay $20 a day to see some great basketball. Get on social media. Follow Capital Hoops, any of their various social handles. Mark, you want to give a plug there so people can follow along? And then that means you've got them for the rest of the season too, right?
Capital Hoops, CAPITOL. Capital, like the nation's Capital Hoops. And
You'll get
be covering all these local high school basketball events, including, but not limited to the Xaverian Classic.
If you're not connected to Capital Hoops on any of their social platforms, you need to, because I get scores from Capital Hoops games, and I mentioned them before Mark even tells me, because he's got such great interns, such a great staff.
Yeah, I was going to say, I learn the scores the same time you do most of the time. Shopticon defeats Arundel.
Right?
Who do I have at Shopticon tonight?
It doesn't matter. You got somebody somewhere. They're all over the place. It might be Arundel. It might be, I don't know where it's going to be, but St. Francis is playing this school or whoever. But you guys get it covered. That's for sure.
Funny story. I woke up today and there were like 9 new videos on the Capital Hoops YouTube account of games from McDaniel Team Camp this morning. And I'm like texting my guys, like, who the hell do we know that was at McDaniel Team Camp? I finally figured it out, but that was a interesting one.
Hey, you're everywhere, Mark. You're everywhere. Blair, I want to thank you for coming in. What else do we want folks to know about the Xaverian before we sign off?
Can we talk about the schedule? And the team?
I know.
Are we saving that for another time? Or
no.
You know what? That's my mistake. You sent me the teams. You swore me to secrecy a couple of weeks ago, and now we can talk about the teams. I apologize. They're coming from all kinds of zip codes, area codes, all kinds of time zones.
What's the feature matchup of the weekend?
I don't know. Let's do the feature matchup of the day for each one. But I don't want to leave anybody out, because I love the field.
I know. I'm the same way at my stuff, but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do.
So we'll do 3 games. And I apologize if anyone feels left out if they hear this. Maybe we'll make sure certain people don't hear it.
Friday's a good day.
Run down the whole schedule if you want.
Yeah, I got to run down the whole schedule. So essentially,
and then I'll highlight a game from each day. We can
perfect.
So you'll be on the hot seat, not Blair.
Yeah.
All right. So we start with the greatest thing I feel like at GC is when we have boy-girl doubleheaders, right? Because the boys and girls don't get to play that often in the same gym. But not only is it a boy-girl doubleheader, it's right after school. Right. So the whole goal of that Friday between 3:30 and say 6 is to have as many kids as possible from Good Counsel experience the beginning of the basketball season.
In that gym. Yes.
In that gym. There's nothing better as a high school athlete than playing with your classmates for your school in a setting like that. Right. And then we have, so the girls are playing Virginia Academy. The boys are hosting Benedictine from Richmond. And then 2 showcase games that night, Malvern Prep from right outside Philadelphia, and the WCAC's own Bishop Ireton. And then the nightcap is really special. We have Santa Margarita from California in town.
3 time zones away.
Yes.
All right.
And they're playing Bishop McNamara, who will probably open the season, I imagine, in the top 10 in the country.
I'm sure.
Right. And that should be a really, really good nightcap there. on Friday. And then Saturday, we start early, right? Hoops for breakfast. Or
I'll say with my bacon and eggs?
We'll do brunch, not breakfast.
Okay.
But 10:30, Loyola Blakefield is going to take on Meade Senior High School. Some under-the-radar talent there for a couple schools, guys who are, I consider, friends in the business, and Roger Garfield and Mike Glick. At 12:15, McDonough from the MIAA will take on St. Andrews Episcopal, who should be pretty strong in the MAC this year. And then at 2, Malvern Prep again comes back and they play Bullis. Bullis should be really strong in the IAC again this year. And then this slate, this is my favorite 3-game stretch of the weekend. Santa Margarita plays DeMatha at 3:45. And then, as we said, Omari Isreal night kicks off with Good Counsel Georgetown Prep at 5:30, and then Holy Cross New York against the defending Xaverian bracket champions Jackson Reed.
You got some heavy hitters.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about this Santa Margarita team?
Yeah, Santa Margarita, wild story. So Bruce Kelly from Bullis texts me and says, "Hey, Santa Margarita is a Catholic school from California. We have a connection to them. They've been trying to get to DC to play. They're coming. They want another game or two to justify the trip."
Okay.
And it's the same weekend, and he texts me, and I'm like, this is done. Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to just say it's done and be able to figure it out. And so they're playing Bullis on Thursday, McNamara Friday, and DeMatha on Saturday.
They did not take the easy route.
No, they did not. A few years ago, I joked with good friend Steve Turner, mutual friend of ours, about this, because Sunrise Christian came and played at Hoop Fest at DeMatha, and they beat Gonzaga, and they beat DeMatha on back-to-back nights at Hoop Fest.
He made it worth it.
And I told Steve, I was like, man, they might get WCAC championship jackets. And to ride back home from BWI, like, you know, when they won. But, you know, again, when you do this, it's nice to get schools that have like mission. You know what I mean? And for me, as an educator, that's part of this whole space. You know, we could go get schools that, let's just say their mission is different, right? Their mission is not.
Don't get me naming names.
No, we won't do that, right? But their mission is different. And so, yeah, they may be really good at basketball. But, you know, all the schools in our event are high quality institutions.
That's what we want.
Right.
Because there's more to basketball than basketball.
Bingo.
Right.
And then Sunday we start at 12:15.
So for some after church.
Yes.
For some after church.
Yes. Just go to the 8 or 9.
Why the late start?
Late start, we had a shift, right? Like, part of all this is sanctioning, right? And having to go through different
What do they got
pieces.
to do with times?
What, sanctioning?
Yeah.
Well, Santa Margarita was going to play on Sunday and then leave. But they can't play. California schools can't play on Sunday. And so they were hopeful they would get the waiver to play, but they couldn't. So
they were supposed to play early and you just scratched that game?
we just moved it to Friday.
Okay.
Yeah. And Bruce was helpful in that too. Yeah.
Okay.
So he bumped up their game on Thursday. So,
yes.
yeah, all the behind the scenes stuff, right?
That's what it takes.
Yeah. So IMG 12 o'clock on Sunday against St. John's, right?
Right.
So game there, and then the third place game of the bracket, and then Philly versus DMV games to, I shouldn't use the word bracket, but to enclose the championship game, right? So at 3:45, Newman Goretti, who is traditionally very, very good, will play Archbishop Carroll and Vanderbilt commit Ant Brown.
Okay.
That's a return match from last year. They played each other, I think, up in Philly, and Carroll won.
Okay.
Right. So it's nice to have that game kind of here. Then the bracket championship at 5:30, and then, like we said, the Yeti Cup. Father Judge, who's a returning Catholic League champion, in Philadelphia against Spalding, right? Who is
Spalding? They're going to be
Spalding is
going this year.
Spalding is going to be really good.
Give me that coach's name again.
Josh Pratt.
Josh Pratt. He was on our podcast. Steve Turner brought him on because I think there's a connection there from Pilates, right?
Yep. They've known each other forever. But how about this? When I was not a camper, but when I was a player at Catholic U, Coach Mike Lonergan was our head coach. Like I said, Steve Howes, GJ Kissel were our assistants. Josh worked camp, right? And that he would still play with us sometime after camp, right? But he would come and work and be one of those like adult commissioners, right? Of one of the leagues. And Josh, I've known Josh for a long time. And he's a really good basketball coach, but a better person.
You know, I know him through the podcast, never met him until one of your summer league games when you're playing 2 games on 2 courts.
Yep.
And some big dude comes behind me and says, "Hey, I just wanted to meet you." I'm like, "Oh God, what did I do?" And it was Josh Pratt. In his flip-flops, maybe? Is he wearing flip-flops during summer league?
That's more of a Seth Goldberg,
That's a Seth
Glenn Farrell type thing.
Maybe that's what that
Farrell,
was.
yes.
Yes.
Goldberg,
Maybe I
yeah.
got him wrong.
Yeah.
Yes. But John Carroll?
Yep.
Yeah, John
that's
Carroll. I got the
Seth.
schools
That's
mixed
Seth.
up.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
That's
Seth. He'll
Seth.
do that. Yes.
Seth is a flip-flop guy.
Right. You know, Blair, thanks, first of all, for coming in. Thanks for considering the DMV Hoops podcast to cover that. I know Mark and his team are going to do the social on that. And all 3 of us are going to be in the same space multiple times this year. I know that to be true. And if not before, we know we'll see each other next summer as well. Blair, thanks for putting this together. Thanks for being our kickoff to the winter season, of hoops in the DMV. For those who are new listeners, again, you know what you're getting with us in the DMV. You're getting WCAC, you're getting MIAA, you're getting IAC, you're getting MAC, you're getting great basketball here in the DMV. You're getting Capital Hoops. They cover everything. If you're lost in the sauce when it comes to DMV basketball, just get with their socials and you'll be good to go. You'll find us on iHeart Radio, Spotify, Apple Music, and wherever you get your podcast content. Mark Stern, thank you. Are we gonna smoke some stogies on the back deck now?
Let's go.
I think I got some wings coming too.
Okay.
I got some wings coming. Blair, you sticking around for food?
I'm never gonna say no to a wing,
Right.
but I'm not a cigar guy, but I have a Mountain Dew, an adult Mountain Dew.
You have an adult Mountain Dew?
Well, I'm gonna enjoy while you guys have a stogie.
We might light the fire out there. Folks, this is Kurt Cross. This is the DMV Hoops Podcast. Thanks for listening, and guess what? We're back. We'll see you next time.
The DMV Hoops Podcast is hosted by Kurt Cross, featuring Adam Crane. Thanks for listening.